And the United States is a partner in this war. It is a partner every day, as you laid out, refueling aircraft, providing additional ordnance, providing intelligence, providing logistics. If the United States of America and the United Kingdom tonight told King Salman this war has to end, it would end tomorrow, because the Royal Saudi Air Force cannot operate without American and British support. We've not done that. The point is we're engaged in a conflict that is having a humanitarian catastrophe, and we have an administration that has never explained what the American angle is in that war. The president has yet to explain to the American people why we are engaged in a war in Yemen against the Houthi, Saudi, Shia people.
And I would argue that our participation in the war is only silent here in the United States Congress and in Washington, D.C. In the region, it's not silent at all. Yemenis will tell you that this isn't a Saudi bombing campaign. This is a U.S.-Saudi bombing campaign. We are overt in our support for this engagement, given that it's U.S. munitions that are being dropped, it's U.S. refueling planes that are allowing for the missions to continue, and it's U.S. intelligence that is providing the information for the targeting.
The much more responsible party is Saudi Arabia and Saudi Arabia's allies in this war in Yemen. They have blockaded the country, not allowed humanitarian supplies in. They have repeatedly been involved in attacks on civilian targets, including hospitals, schools, and things like that.
The result of this conflict has been the death of thousands of civilians, many of them reportedly targeted by Saudi bombers, has been the creation of enormous space for the growth of AQAP, which grows uncontested in Yemen today because of the refusal of the coalition to go after AQAP, given their preference to go after Houthi targets.
They are at war with the Houthis, but at the same time tolerating the creation of an al-Qaeda emirate in much of southern Yemen. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula today controls more territory than it has ever controlled before. It has an income, according to a recent study by Reuters, of between $2 million and $5 million a day because it's in the process of smuggling oil and other things out of its emirate in the southeastern part of the country.
Our named number one enemy in the region is Al-Qaeda and ISIS, but we have never seen AQAP have control of as much territory and as much now income as they do because of their control of this major port city. And not a lot of conversation about why we have allowed that reality to persist.
The largest arms deal in American history has been done with Saudi Arabia on President Obama's watch.
There's a direct relationship between the tens of millions of dollars donated to the Clinton Foundation that allowed contractors to sell billions of dollars worth of arms to countries that were on human rights suspect lists.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you the largest arms deal in Canadian history has been done with Saudi Arabia. It's an interesting paradox. We sell them enormous amounts of military equipment, and yet it seems to give them more leverage over us than us leverage over them for obvious reasons. Because if you don't make infantry fighting vehicles in London, Ontario, a lot of people are going to lose jobs in London, Ontario. If you don't sell them F-15s, a lot of people in St. Louis, Missouri, and in Houston, Texas, and actually the people who make F-15s are very smart. Every F-15 has components in it that are built in all 50 states of the United States of America. So if you don't sell those F-15s, you're going to lose jobs everywhere. It's an election year. President Obama is not going to talk to the Saudis about cutting off military supplies for the war in Yemen. They're going to talk about more arms assistance to Saudi Arabia. it's a real paradox about this relationship that I've become increasingly fixated on in studying Saudi Arabia. How has the fact that they want so much arms ended up giving them so much leverage over the people who sell them those arms?